Am I the asshole for assuming my parents are trying to guilt trip me into moving back in by cutting me out of their life? So I, Lexi, moved out of my parents' house 6 months ago to start a new job and build some independence. It was a big decision, but I felt like it was necessary for my growth and future. I set up an account with them so they could send money to help me pay rent, which I appreciated. However, things started to take a turn when they stopped inviting me over for meals or family gatherings. At first, I thought maybe they were just busy, but as the weeks went by, it became clear that something was off. My mom called me one day and told me she had invited Sloan, our family friend, to move in with her because she's been so lonely lately. I knew what that meant. My mom was using Sloan as a replacement for me. I tried to brush it off, but then Hudson, my dad, made things worse when he said during our next phone call that I should be grateful they were still taking care of me and didn't make me move back in. I got frustrated with both of them because I knew they were trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty for making a decision that's good for me. So, I told them I needed some space and asked them not to call or text me for a while. They seem fine with it now, but I know this is just the beginning. I'm starting to feel like I'm being cut out of my family's life on purpose. I've been trying to set boundaries and maintain my independence, but it's hard when they keep throwing these guilt trips my way. I know they love me, but sometimes I wonder if they're more concerned with their own feelings than mine. Am I the asshole for standing up for myself like this?
Am I the asshole for reporting my coworker Jasper for taking $200 of company funds to buy tickets to a festival he told his wife about? So I'm 36 and been working at this marketing firm for 5 years. My coworkers are all pretty cool, except for one guy named Theo who thinks he's some kind of expert on everything just because he played college basketball. Anyway, my coworker Jasper is always talking about how much fun he has at music festivals and how much money his wife spends on him. I'm not really sure why he feels the need to brag about it, but whatever. Last week, Theo called me out in front of our whole team for spending too much money on lunch. He said something like "you're eating like a king" and made a joke about Jasper's festival habit, saying something about how he's always buying his way into the VIP section. Jasper was pretty defensive at first, but then I chimed in and told Theo that if we were going to talk about spending money, we should be talking about him taking the company credit card for those expensive golf trips. After that conversation, Jasper came up to me and whispered that he had just used $200 of company funds to buy tickets to a music festival in Chicago. He said it was a last-minute thing and that he didn't mean for it to cause any trouble. When I asked him why he took the money without asking me first, he said something about how Theo's comments had gotten under his skin and he just went with it. I told Jasper that taking company funds without permission is a big no-no, and that if we were going to do things outside of work, we should be doing them in our own time. I also made it clear that if he ever took money from the company again, there would be serious consequences. Am I the asshole for pushing back on feedback from my manager that I felt was unfair and then having him escalate it? So I'm a 32-year-old guy who's been working as a marketing specialist at a small company for about 3 years now. I've always tried to be a team player and take constructive criticism on board, but recently, I found myself in a situation where my manager, Darius, gave me some feedback that I just couldn't agree with. He told me that my proposal for a new social media campaign was too expensive, at $10,000, which is a significant chunk of our budget. He also said that the ideas I presented were not innovative enough and that I needed to come up with something more daring. I listened to his feedback, but what really stuck with me was when he said that if I couldn't deliver results like this, then maybe I wasn't cut out for the role. I felt like he was being pretty harsh and unfair, especially considering that I'd been consistently meeting my targets over the past year. So I responded to Darius's email with some concerns of my own, explaining why I thought $10,000 was a reasonable budget for the campaign, and pointing out that the ideas I presented were actually based on industry benchmarks. I also asked him if he had any suggestions as to how I could make the proposal more innovative. In my response, I tried to keep it calm and professional, but I think I might have come across as slightly defensive. The next day, Darius called me into his office and started going over some of the points I'd raised in my email. He told me that while he understood where I was coming from, he still didn't think my proposal was good enough, and that I needed to step up my game if I wanted to succeed at the company. He also mentioned that Olive, our CEO, had expressed some concerns about my performance, which, of course, wasn't true. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my friend group that I'm not planning another trip because I always do all the work? So I, 27M, and here's what happened. We've been friends since college and every year or two, we'd plan a group trip together. Last year, we went to Vegas for 4 days, which cost around $2,000 total including flights, accommodation, and activities. This year, Ivan suggested we do it again, but I had other plans. I was planning a solo trip to Europe that I'd been saving up for months. I brought it up in our group chat with Ivan and Cleo, and they both said they were excited to hear about my trip and asked me when I'd be back. But when I told them that I wouldn't be able to join the trip this year, they started getting upset. Indigo was like, "What's wrong? Why not?" And Ivan said, "Come on, it's just a few more days, we can make it work." Cleo chimed in with something about how much she wanted to spend time with me, but also told me that I'm always the one who plans these trips. I felt like they weren't listening to my reasons or understanding why I couldn't join. They kept asking me if I was selfish and said things like, "You're not going to miss this opportunity." I was taken aback by their reaction, because it felt like they were placing all the blame on me for having plans that didn't include them. I tried explaining again that my trip is something I've been saving up for a long time and that it's not just about missing out on a weekend with friends. But the more I said, the more frustrated they got. Ivan started saying things like fine, plan without us then, which felt really dismissive of my feelings. Now everyone's expecting me to start planning another trip, but I'm just not feeling it. Am I the asshole?